Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Maryville Saints Weekend Recap on the Division I women's side here. Chuck Kraus alongside Todd Panula as we are going to talk about everything Maryville Saints related in terms of what happened as their weekend double set against the McKendree Bearcats. Chuck, on Friday night, they were looking to pull off a victory on the road trip. Didn't quite get it. Ended up still with a point in their back pocket, a 3-3 game.
Yeah, when you got a little bit of bus legs, even though they just went over the river, you have a little bit of bus legs. You got some. You got 9 freshmen on the team, getting them jitters out. Ended up in a 3-3 tie. It wasn't a loss. You can't be upset with that. But then they came back home, and it was a different game, Todd.
So on the home ice, it ended up being a 3-goal victory for the Maryville Saints. 6-3 was the final. Emma Gerwitz had 2 goals in the first period. Her first game, as team captain on home ice, and it couldn't have been a much better start in front of the home fans.
Yeah, great showing for Emma Gerwitz to come out, like you said, 40 seconds into the game, first shot on goal. Our new captain scores, and it was, McKendree had some pockets in there to where you thought, okay, they might be coming back here, but I think overall Maryville really controlled that game.
And we see there the first look at the first goal for Emma Gerwitz. And she just had that one on a tee right from the slot and managed to get the driver onto that one. Good distance, good lift on it, right over the glove hand side.
Yeah, absolutely. Great shot. And, as we say, the shots that she put on, great shots. We're going to go back to our end, and great showing by Sawyer Duncan.
So in between those 2 goals was a goal from O'Leary as she would score on the power play. That came at 7:54 on the rebound. As you see here, the puck just came right to her. She slotted it in past the goaltender, and that would make the score 2-0. And then after that, it was Gerwitz with her second of the game. That happened later in the period, a little bit past the 16-minute mark. And here comes Gerwitz stepping into another shot. And again, a lot of steam behind that one. And we talked about it. Gerwitz doing a lot of work in the offseason. She's gotten stronger. She's gotten faster. She's got still the skills that she had last year, but she seems more in control of everything as well.
Yeah, she's putting her body in the right place. She's getting in the lanes. The puck's seeming to find her, and it just goes to show when you put in the hard work, when you know where to go, you're going to get goals.
So it would be 3-1 after 1, and going into the second period, the Saints would extend that pretty early on at 1:27. As we talked about, one of those new faces, Kayla Morris, would get her first goal of the season here on home ice, and she was able to get a rebound chance here along the near side. You saw just up top over that hash mark, and again, slotting it past the goaltender. That would put the score to 4-1. And what a way for her as well to get her name on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Get that puck, put it up on her shelf. First collegiate hockey goal. Really cool for her.
So 4-1 was the score there, but then Cam Beats would score at 5:28 of the second period. And again, McKendree just didn't really go away in that game. They always kind of kept things in doubt as we get a look at their goal here to slide it past Sawyer Duncan on the backdoor play. They were threading those passes through very nicely and finally able to connect on that one.
Yeah, they were really looking for them backdoor plays, and you could see when they were able to succeed on that. That last one, Sawyer Duncan makes the initial save, but unfortunately the rebound comes right out to the McKendree player who puts it right in the back of the net.
It's kind of the story of the night for her. She made a lot of those initial saves, but the rebound opportunities weren't always cleared away by the defense, but ultimately when you pick up the win, you can't complain too much. Continuing on with the recap of last night's game, it was Sydney Poisson to score at 6:05 of the third period. Another power play goal, as this one really ended up being a huge power play game for Maryville. As Poisson, you see once again kind of picking up the loose change and burying one past the goaltender. And again, Poisson, she's been one of the leading scorers for her team, and she picked up what proved to be somewhat of an important one there.
Yeah, it almost looked like you said on the broadcast last night, Todd, well, if it's here, I guess I might as well put it in. Kind of a nonchalant goal. She puts it in, doesn't really celebrate much, but she still gets her name up on the scoreboard, up on the score sheet. And like we said, we saw Poisson have a really good season last year, so I'll be anxious to see what she does this year.
So again, the Bearcats just wouldn't go away, though. That goal came at 6:05 at 7:18. It would be Gorgievska Sharp for the McKendree Bearcats. So again, cut that lead from 3 down to 2, and just keeping Maryville on their toes in terms of McKendree just not going away at all.
Yeah, right there, as you see, right there on the doorstep, as Gruitt was able to circle around Maryville's goal. You can see Sawyer dunking on her one knee thinking, wow, I should have had that one. But them backdoor plays are really hard for a goaltender to go from the left to the right real quick. So like you keep saying, McKendree didn't go away. They didn't lay down and say, okay, Maryville, you've got this one. They came back and they brought it within 2.
But Maryville was determined to manage to push that scoreline back to 3. They would get one final goal. It would be Ellie Rutherford with her first goal here on home ice. Another freshman, as Maryville was able to get it out in front, and Rutherford was able to pop that one just past the goaltender. And again, the 6th goal of the game would come late. Maryville would win by 3, and now they're 1-0-1 after this first home-and-home series.
When you have 9 freshmen, you have a lot of new skaters. You can't be upset with that, Todd. They didn't get a loss in their first weekend. They come to home ice. They get a 6-3 win. They put 30 shots on McKendree Bearcats goaltender. Coach Lang, surely he's happy with that. And they just got to move forward, get some practices under their skates, and see where the rest of the season takes them.
Well, you've heard what we have to say about those couple of games. Let's send it over now and hear what Coach Tommy Lang had to say about this weekend series.
Well, Coach, I know every coach wants their team to get off to a hot start on home ice, but you can't ask for much more than scoring 40 seconds in.
No, yeah, it's good. We want to come out first shift hard, set the tone. I'm glad to see the ladies, bought in from last night, what we took positive out of last night, and implemented that right from the start, And I've preached so along, you can't win a game in the first period, but you can lose it. And last night we had to claw back after a 3-1 deficit in the first. And tonight we made a mark that we want to come out and set the tone right away, and it paid off with a goal for, like you said, 40-something seconds in on a nice shot by Gerwitz.
So it's 3-1 after the first, it's 4-2 after the second. What message do you give to your girls in the locker room to spark them up to keep on going?
Just keep it simple. It's really that easy. We don't play the sexiest system, but we're the hardest working system. And when they buy into that, it's evident on the play that we carry the pace and we set the tone, and we're going to dictate the game, playing on our toes. And when we do that, we're a very good hockey team, and we make others kind of adjust to us. And when we don't play that system, we have to adjust to them, and that's what led to their breaks tonight. And the girls heard about it a little bit in the locker room between periods, but it's also the first weekend of the year. We've had 20-something practices, and they haven't seen competition. We got 9 freshmen out there playing their first weekend. So it's a matter of them adjusting to the game speed, the physicality of it, and the returning players, they're antsy to get out there. So they're gripping the sticks a little tight, and it's just, ease the nerves, get out there, make it happen, and play the system we need to play.
So you talked about it Friday, you fell behind 3-1, claw your way back. You're ahead 3-1 after 1 in this Saturday's game. How did you manage to keep them with a sharp mentality so that McKendree couldn't do the same to you?
It's just sticking to the game plan. It's really, we need to be even keel. It's like you said, 3-1 after 1, but it's 0-0 as soon as we step on that ice after for the start of second. And to your point, we made it 4-1, but then we gave up a bad shift and they scored right away. And that's part of our mentality is, we score the goal, it's great, but the next shift's the most important shift out there, and we failed to do that tonight. I don't know if it was twice, but definitely once. And that gives the momentum that we just earned for the last 4 minutes before that goal. And it's unacceptable, but it's also teaching moments and learning curves for a young program. We've got 9 freshmen. So it's moments for them on forward and D that we have to treat every shift like it's a brand new one. Whether we scored or gave up a goal, it's a brand new shift. So
3 goals on 25 shots. What did you see out of Sawyer Duncan tonight?
She did well. She did very well. Unfortunately, kind of dodging your question just to stare a hair is, Cadrain's a great goalie too, but she gave up 3 goals on 13 shots in the first period last night. Told Sawyer, be ready to go right away. We can't have that, and it's not to Caitlin's fault. She didn't play bad. It's just we gave up 2 power play goals. We took too many penalties last night. Tonight we limited it to 2 or 3, I think. I'm not positive on that, but for Sawyer, she was able to stay square to the shots. Our D did a good job of picking up sticks, clearing bodies, and on the power play, we were able to adjust to what they did from Friday night to Saturday, and she had better shooting lanes to see the puck. And it's credit to her D to keep them out the outside, and forwards back checking, breaking up plays, and taking away the high slot shots that are left there.
So obviously disappointed with the special teams battle Friday. You have to be a little bit happier Saturday, getting 3 power play goals of your own.
Yep, it's a mark we made. We saw what they did on Friday night, and quote me, I think we had 1, but tonight was, hey, we've got to change what they did very well to us, and we've got to expose some of their weaknesses, and we were able to do that in certain areas. But it's a credit to our girls that they stick with what has been taught to them and told to them in practices, and it pays off. But it's just their execution was a little rough on Friday night. Saturday night, stuck with it, did the same things, tweaked 1 or 2 lanes to go in, and it paid off. And we got to be hungry hippos in front of the net, as I like to call it. And whether a shot gets blocked or the goalie's there, we got to be able to put the puck in the net and out-muscle them.
Speaking of being hungry, you've got, once the jitters are gone, you got 2 freshmen scoring. I'm sure they're pretty excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And both of them could have scored last night. Rutherford had, I think, 2 breakaways on Friday night. Kyla Morris, she had a rocket of a shot, put it high just over the bar. Could have settled down and probably put it in the net easier, but it's just outworking them and them buying into the system, and they will be rewarded with their speed. Elle doesn't have the size that Kyla has, but their speed, their tenacity, and being able to out-want and outwork some opponents is what led to their goals tonight.
Going forward, you have a weird schedule kind of in October. It's going to afford you a little bit more practice time. Is that something that could be beneficial, or is it kind of odd to have those breaks in between weekends?
Well, we actually picked up a game next weekend against Lindenwood. So we got them next Saturday night at 6:20 at Centene. They owed us a game from last year, so we're making it up this year. So that, to your point, that helps fill that void of now, instead of 2 weeks of practice before games, we'll practice 4 times next week, play them Saturday. Girls get a day or 2 off, and then we practice Monday through Wednesday next week and hop on a bus Wednesday night to have a nice 16-hour bus ride to Minot State to play 3 games there, and then come back, and finally they'll earn a weekend off after that, as long as they play some good hockey.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
So that was head coach Tommy Lang, obviously mostly happy with the overall performance that he got from his team. And as you mentioned, Chuck, you're probably going to be satisfied overall. Coaches are never 100% satisfied, but
No.
again, you get a victory here on home ice, and you didn't drop the game on the road either.
Right. I mean, it's a successful weekend, and as I can kind of joke on what you just said, Coach Hogan could win 10-0 and still be totally upset with his team. So glad to see Tommy Lang's happy with his gals this weekend, and hey, the rest of the season's right in front of him.
Well, we have one more interview lined up. Let's send it over there to the team captain and 2-goal scorer here in the 6-3 victory in Emma Gerwitz.
So you got off to a pretty good start on home ice, just 40 seconds in, and you get on the board.
Yeah, it's really exciting. A little bit notorious for it at this point, but it's always exciting to get the ladies going, especially really early in a game. And coming off of a hard-fought tie from yesterday, that was an extra confidence boost that we really needed. So that was really big for us today.
Were you a little bit surprised to be that open in the slot?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it just kind of trickled out, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's laying right out for me on a platter. So, I took my chance and got lucky.
You guys have a 3-3 tie last night. You come in front of your home crowd, win 6-3. What did you see different from the girls out there?
I just feel like there was an extra pep in our step today. We came ready to go. We clawed our way back yesterday, and today we really wanted to go for the kill. So the ladies were really ready to go from the start, and we got a good lunch in us today. So everybody was ready from the puck drop, and we played the full 60 minutes, and that really made a difference for us today.
So you guys race out to the 3-0 lead, allow a late one there in the first. What was the mentality either in the locker room or on the bench every time they scored? It seemed like you guys still found an answer.
Obviously, it's always kind of tough to choke back a goal, especially when you're got a lot of momentum going. But we just tried to stay positive on the bench, just shake it off, brush it off, and go out for the next shift, take it shift by shift, minute by minute, and we just won our little battles. And at the end of the day, that's what helped us out.
Looks like at the end they were getting a little frustrated out there. How do you guys overcome that, the kind of the dirtier plays?
We always tell our girls, especially at the start of games, you never know the calls that you're going to get, and you never know the calls that you're not going to get. So we got to tell everybody, keep a level head. I know, there's girls whacking people behind the plays and some dirty elbows thrown. Like it happens as part of hockey, but we really emphasize to our girls that it's very important to keep a level head and just keep playing through it.
So you had a power play goal here tonight. Overall, the team went 3 for 5. Was it just one of those games where everything was clicking, or was there something specific on the power play that was working out?
We've been working on power play a lot. That's something that we've kind of struggled with in the past couple of years, so we really have been hammering it home in practice. But today, what really helped us out was just moving the puck. Constantly moving all the time. Their PK is really solid, but you get them out there for a minute while you're moving pucks around the perimeter, they're gonna get tired. So we told our girls, it's very important for us to be moving the puck, moving it quickly, because they're gonna slow down and we're gonna find open slots.
Duly named captain. Congratulations.
Thank
first
you.
off. Is it a different type of role that you're taking? Do you have a different mindset going into this season?
Honestly, last year I was a leadership position as well, and I don't view it as a different or any kind of difference or shift. I'm still a part of leadership. I'm still responsible for keeping the girls in check and making sure that everybody's doing what they need to be doing. So I don't view it as any different. The girls don't view it as any different, and at the end of the day, we're all just here to really work hard, and we emphasize that a lot.
So going forward, kind of an odd schedule. You have an off weekend, then you're on the road, then you have another off, and then you're back home at the end of the month. How do you guys maintain the consistency?
It's definitely something that's kind of hard, especially with the on and off that you mentioned, because we're very used to back to back to back, being pretty packed in our schedule. But this year we're just really focusing on practices and making sure that we're getting the most out of all the ice time that we can get, keeping the girls all together. Even on off weekends we try to do stuff like team bonding or come and support the other teams at Maryville that might be playing. So it's really important for us to stick together even when we are not necessarily playing hockey games.
Well, start off to a good weekend. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Once again, we thank Coach and team captain in terms of giving us those interviews in this weekend recap. Again, both of them overall pretty happy with their performance, whether on an individual basis or on the team basis. But it's going to be a good start to the season, but it's tough sledding as well. As you mentioned, kind of an odd schedule, Chuck. They've got Minot State on the road. That one is October 7th and 8th. And then one single game on the road against the University of Jamestown on Sunday, October 9th. And then they're off until October 22nd, and that'll be a homestand against Miami University of Ohio. So that'll be our next broadcast here on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network. So a bit of time between now and then, and we'll see how this team comes together in the interim.
Yeah, bit of time, a lot of practice for them to be had. A lot of practice for us to be able to pronounce each other's names correctly and teams correctly. So
I got it right tonight.
You did. You got it right tonight. So a lot of time for everyone to get some practice under them. And, hey, it's the beginning of hockey season. I said it before. The best season, the best time of the year. So let's go. Maryville Saints, it's time.
So 1-0-1 after the first weekend. We'll see where it stands in a few weeks' time on our next broadcast against Miami. Until then, it's Chuck Kraus and Todd Panula. We thank Eric Skelton once again behind the scenes. For everybody here at the Maryville Saints Hockey Network, we thank you for watching this recap, and we'll see you next time.